Hey there, thanks for checking out this video. And I'm going to be doing a quick overnighter, just trying to find a good spot. And this area here is pretty open. Thanks for tagging along, thanks for checking out the video, and yeah, follow along with how I set up my campsite today. I'm going to be hammock camping today, and I'm going to set up my hammock between these two trees. And I'm actually going to have a really nice view of the lake, have a little fire, and just have fun. Today with me I have my Warbonnet Outdoors hammock. I got this from a company in Colorado. I'll send a link up in the video. I'm not sponsored by them. This hammock has a built-in bug net. No have to worry about that tonight, but it's a super comfortable hammock. It has a couple of nice features. And then I usually set that up with a couple of hammock straps, which I find are just quite easy when setting up your hammock. These straps, all you do is you feed the line through the end loop. That gives you your area for your carabiners to grip onto. And with the hammock, you want to make sure you put it up at a reasonable height. So then you put one of these carabiners through the end here. And then you can lock that on to whatever hole or loop you think is going to be best for your setup. I'm going to just kind of put it up very quickly and then just kind of fix it as I go. So actually this is not going to be ideal because I don't have enough line. You want this to be somewhat taut, but not too taut. So this is not going to be an ideal setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this line over to this tree here, and that should give me the space I need to make sure I'm off the ground nice and dry, but that I'm not also sagging. I'm going to have to get rid of this root here, or this little stump, because I don't want to fall onto it in the middle of the night. And so the way to test if your hammock is at the correct distance is just by simply getting in it. And when you get in it, this line in the middle that I was talking about should get taut, and you should be able to just do this with your finger to make sure that it's not too tight. So this line is still not taut, so I need to continue to readjust this until it is. So now if you can see from the camera here, this line, nice and taut, nice and tight, and I can just kind of push it a little bit with my finger and my thumb, but not too much. And I'm really good and high off the ground here, so this will really work out quite nicely and be super comfortable. But I'm going to take care of this stump here. take care of this one too. It's nice. It's nice and dead. There we go. I'm also going to take a quick moment and just kind of clear up the area underneath of any debris. So one of the selling points of this hammock is that it has these little pull-outs where I can tie these off, and it gives you a little pocket for all your stuff. And it also helps to keep the hammock nice and tight throughout the evening. So all I really do for this is I just do a loop. I just loop the string around itself, and I leave enough of a loop on the end because these tie downs here have a little notch, and that will keep it nice and tight. I don't have to tie anything, and that'll keep it nice for the evening there. And this side here helps to get in and out of the hammock, so it kind of keeps the bug net tight, but it also allows me to get in here a little bit better. One thing I didn't mention about the hammocks, and this is just something that if you ever want to go out hammock camping, that you should try to do if you can, is to make sure that your head is lower than your feet. Just makes it more comfortable when you're sleeping. Just gonna give it a test. I think the other side maybe needs to be a little tighter. And I'm also going to drop this down just a bit. Perfect. So that'll give me that elevation toward the bottom for my head. And that pocket is actually that's in good shape. At the lake. Really nice spot. It's been used before. There's a couple of campfires here. So my only major concern is finding wood. I'm not gonna have a huge fire. I'll be able to find a little bit of wood, probably up that way. There's a couple of dead trees there. So I'm gonna give that a go in a little bit. And then just hang out and enjoy the wilderness. I really just came out here today to level out and relax. So thanks for tagging along. So I need to be quick because we are kind of running out of daylight here. The only risk right now is that it might rain tomorrow or overnight. So I'm gonna throw a tarp over this, and then I'll be nice and cozy. I'll throw all my gear in that I'll be sleeping with here tonight, and then I'm going to try to go and scrounge up for some wood and get that going. So a lot still to do, and the sun is quickly setting. So I realized that I only have one extra stake for the tarp. So what I'm doing is just finding some sticks that have a little notch on them. And so I'll be able to stick those in the ground, tie the string or the paracord around it, and that'll give me the support that I need, as long as they're not too rotten, to get that tarp nice and tight. This one has a little notch. I can probably still make use out of that. So anyway, I'll put those in and I'll have that set up. And there you have it. It's not perfect, but it's going to keep me dry. Everything is nice and tight, so I don't have to really worry about it blowing away. All of my tie downs are in good shape, so really happy with how that looks. I'm going to load all my gear into the hammock and get myself ready for when bedtime comes. Then I'm going to start getting some food into me and finding some wood. Ran into a small issue. It seems that my water leaked onto my sleeping bag in my pack, so you can see It's a little damp there. Nice thing is that it's not going to get too cold tonight. And I also have, this is my synthetic sleeping bag, so it's rated for -8. Where it's synthetic, it should dry out pretty quick, unlike a down bag. If I had brought that out tonight, it really sucked. It would have really held that moisture and been pretty chilly. So I'm just going to let that hang there for a bit while I go collect wood. I'm going to get everything else ready and set up and go from there. So unfortunately, a few of the things that I brought with me to stay warm tonight while I sleep, it did in fact get damp. So I'm going to just let those two things, my sleeping bag and my sheet, dry out on top there. I will stuff them into each other here soon just because they will dry a little bit. But when I go to bed tonight, I'll probably wear all my layers just so that my heat can hopefully help to heat up and dry that stuff out. I also might just boil some water and throw it in my Nalgene. And that'll also just give that heat, and that way it can hopefully dry everything and trap that heat in with the tarp. So camp is set up and ready to go. Good dead standing wood right now is extremely hard to find, at least in this area. And we've had a lot of rain over the last week as well, so things are pretty damp. I'm gonna do one more round and try to find a few bigger pieces of wood to burn. Hopefully hardwood, that'll burn a little longer into the evening, but as you can see, I'm losing my daylight. So I gotta get this thing going, get my headlamp on, and start cooking some food. I think I found just what I'm looking for. That should do quite well. All right. Now I'm gonna try to find some birch bark. I hit the jackpot, found a ton of birch bark. So I'm gonna take the birch bark after I've processed a little bit more of this bigger wood. I'm gonna make a base with the bigger wood. I'm gonna then use this stuff in my pocket that I've dried out on my hiking. I'm gonna try to light this first and then light the birch bark and then get the fire going here and then start cutting up some of this wood. Got a nice base. That wood that I found is excellent. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough sunlight to gather any more, but I think that once I cut it and split it will probably do me. So I'm gonna process up here and get ready for the fire. I'm gonna crush some of this up here. This might catch a flame a little better. I've got just a little, kind of a little nook here I'm gonna try to use to light this. Oh, got a little flame down there. What I'm gonna do, actually, is take some of this birch bark and throw that right underneath of this. So that way it'll hopefully catch a flame if I get one going. And I really hope I get one going. I'd like to dry out a little bit, but I gotta get a nice Gotta get a nice spot here for my fire steel to catch. There we go. Perfect. Just light, yeah, perfect. Excellent. Excellent. Nothing more motivating than getting the fire going. It's gonna warm me up, start making supper, have a nice drink. This is what it's all about. Gonna let that catch. Just gonna feed more of the birch bark underneath. Really help get the coals going. Well, she's kind of going out on me. It's wet, so it's gonna take some coaxing for sure. And I mean, worst case scenario, I know where to get more birch bark if that's what's going to help it get going. Throw some little stuff on here. Again, I don't want this to get too crazy, but I do want it to catch, so. Gonna burn nice. pour myself a little drink. Cheers. Yep, quite the day. I left for one location. I thought it was going to be a decent area. And when I got there, it was a protected water shed, so there was no camping. No camping in that area, so I had to leave. So I respected the rules of that location and decided I was going to try to go to another pretty popular trail. And that one was super busy. But it was a beautiful day today. Again, it was like 8 degrees, so it was busy everywhere. Went there, it was packed. And I really didn't want to inconvenience anybody with my videoing and all that stuff. And then I landed here, and the same thing, it was super busy. But it wasn't too busy, it wasn't too bad. Found a spot to park, that was the main thing. If I didn't land that one parking spot that was available, I would have probably turned back and went home, but I got lucky and got that spot. So here we are. And then, like I said, I hiked for a very long time. I tried to go into a different area and got lost. I was bushwhacking through some seriously tough terrain, and I was just about to quit. I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm tired, I don't want to do this. I'm wet, I'm kind of cold. My phone was dead, so I put my battery pack on and charged that. Then I heard some people walk by, and so I was right close to the trail. So that was reassuring. I started walking back, and then I came to the river here. Beautiful sound of the river running behind me, which is really nice. But anyway, I just happened to notice the portage sign and said, oh, I'll give that a look. And here we are. And it's a beautiful spot. My hammock and my tarp and my setup is all up. It's above this area, so it's above ground. So that's good. If it does rain overnight, if it rains tomorrow, it won't be wet. It'll be really damp and wet down here, and it already is. It's pretty wet from the week we've had, but I'll be pretty dry. So that's super nice. And I have the beautiful view. I can show you. I don't know if it'll come up on the camera, but just the beautiful view here of the sun setting. I honestly won't even probably need to cut these up with the hatchet. Pretty dry. I'm going to try to get these closer to the fire so they hopefully dry out a bit more. Again, a lot of this wood's pretty wet, but I'm saving this big stuff for tonight. And worst case, if it's too wet to burn, I'll just go to bed. But obviously that wouldn't be too fun. I do know some of this wood is really good and really dry. That last piece that I got was really good. It's burning good. There's a good bit of coals there. You can tell when you're cutting it though, it's good, it's dry. Gonna leave these here to dry out more. On the menu tonight, I've got creamy pasta and chicken. Another one of these ReadyWise meals. And then my main snack of the evening is some Trader Joe's Sweet and Tart Trek Mix. Oh, this looks really good. This is going to be delicious, I think. Just going to try to mix up seasoning. It always gets stuck in the middle. Actually, what I'm going to do is make sure it reseals. Flip it over. And then pour it in. And let it sit. Ooh, that's hot, that's hot. Let that sit for about 15 minutes. I always find it needs a little bit more time to get going. Oh, this is nice. This is really nice. This is the first time that I've ever camped by myself. I really wanted to get out and do this because I really wanted to prove to myself that I could do it, and I really wanted to take the opportunity to get out and do this myself, and you know, just experience it. And it's been great, honestly. It was looking pretty grim at the beginning, but it turned out, and this is like a really nice little fire, and everything's really awesome. This is extremely soupy. Why is this so soupy? "12 to 15 minutes. I think it's been that long. So I drained a little bit of the water. Doesn't seem so creamy, but we'll see what happens here. The chicken's good and rehydrated. Good big chunks of chicken. It's good. This is a good meal. So was my last one. I forget what it was. It was like a teriyaki chicken. This is good, but some of the noodles didn't rehydrate, and I'm not sure why. But it is good. I'm so hungry. Maybe that's what's, you know, persuading my opinion. But yeah, some of the noodles are not rehydrated, so that's kind of a negative. Guys, I'm all snuggled in for the night. This was a pretty great night. Awesome fire, good location, nice and cuddled into my hammock. Anyway, I'm gonna head to bed. I'm gonna listen to a podcast, and I'll catch up with you guys again in the morning. Morning, guys. It's about 7:30. Had a great sleep. Really warm. And yeah, I'm just gonna hang out in the sleeping bag for a little bit longer. It's nice and toasty in here. And get up, make some breakfast, and get on the go. Pack up and take off. I am up and just getting things kind of packed away here. Slept really well. It's pretty early, so I'm gonna continue to pack and get some breakfast on the go, get some food into me, pack everything up, and take off. All right, guys, I'm all packed up and ready to head out, so I'm gonna get moving. It's about 8:45 now, so an hour hike out of here. Thanks again for checking out the video, and I really appreciate it if you like and subscribe, if you like the content. Leave a comment, let me know anything you think I should do differently, change up, or what you might like to see on the next adventure. And until that time, we'll catch you later.